I'm preparing a raw
Huh?
steak. I'm preparing a raw steak because I'm not cooking. I'm eating it like that, raw.
Oh,
Raw
Man,
steak.
he married
Okay.
you.
that's where Mark eats it.
Not good.
Absolutely.
See this
Love to
right
get
here?
it back.
Ah, ah, ah.
Yo, that's overcooked.
We are live, y'all. We are live.
In Raleigh?
You're
No,
not
we're
live
not.
yet.
Was that live yet? Okay, well, it says recorded already. It says
Somebody
recording.
is shooting at cars down 140.
Now we're on.
What's up, Cheech?
Sorry, that was my doctor on the phone.
Negative, nothing further. Just take care of me in the corner. That's a direct order. Do it now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are Roll Call, Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. Today is Thursday, November the 7th, 2024. I'm here with a few of my friends, and then I'm going to exit, and they're going to take over. But I got D with me. I got Jerry. I got AC, Mark, Rich, Derek, Kyle, Dave, Ty, Jim, JT, Jamel, and Cheech. A full house just about. Good to see each and every one of you. And we're going to pause for a moment of silence, and then D going to take over from there.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Glad to see everybody here. I know we're all praying for everybody in the room, everybody going through their stuff. I know Don is praying for you guys, and so am I. Interesting week this week. So let's go first with our statement of purpose. Rich?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. We are Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. We're a pro-law enforcement group. We believe in equitable policing. We're against racism, and we believe Black Lives Matter.
Nice and simple. All right, Kyle, give us our disclaimer.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just a few advisements for you. You've met our panelists already today, and they're going to be giving you their comments, their opinions about various topics that we're going to discuss. And we just want to make sure that you understand that that is what it is. It's their opinions and their commentary, not legal advice. So please understand that we all come from different jurisdictions. We may say something about the law in one state that does not apply or is not interpreted in the same way in another state. So just be careful of that. We are not your legal advisors. If you need legal advice, seek that out in your respective jurisdictions. Secondly, we're probably going to play some videos for you. That's typically what we do to spur our conversation. We just we'll let you know that they're coming. Sometimes they can be a little graphic in nature, but we don't intend to offend anybody by the nature of the video. So we'll let you know that it's coming and give you a heads up. These videos we lift from social media platforms. We don't own them, produce them. It's just like you might share with your friends and family. You might find them on the various social media platforms. So that's where we get them from as well. And lastly, we don't censor each other here. So we allow us to speak from the heart with passion. Sometimes our language can be, someone might find it offensive, but we don't intend to offend you by what we say or how we say it. Just know the intention is to speak from the heart, and we have no censorship here. So those are the advisements that I wanted to leave the audience with. That's it from me.
Thank you, Kyle. Outstanding. All right. So we know we've had some recent events, and just to start out, I'm gonna do a trigger alert. If you're triggered by anything that you may hear here today, you might want to turn away if you're squeamish. We've got some specific opinions on our recent events. We had an election here night before last, and most of us know how it went. I just wanted to say it took me a couple of days to get myself together, and just today, where's Reverend Camp? He's not here. Hopefully, he comes in later. If you get a chance, I want you to watch his post. If you're on Facebook here, watch his post, because that kind of brought me back watching Reverend Camp. I should have shared it. Maybe I will later. But let me just say this. I had an expectation that something was going to happen, and it went differently. And the same consideration and or respect that I wanted to give if it had gone another way, I'm going to give because it went this way. And what I mean by that is, and I know it's going to be hard for some people to hear, whoever becomes our president that's voted in by us, because, by the way, I believe this is the best system that we have. It's not perfect. It's not wonderful. But I've been all over the world. This is kind of the best thing pumping right now, the best thing chugging. So even though things may not be the way we want them to be, we have to trust in the system. And if the system says this person is in this position, he or she is in that position for all of us. And I think it's important for us to give them that respect. No matter how we may feel about them, we have to give them that respect. And they're our president. If I go on the other way, she would have been everybody's president. And I would have expected them to give her the same kind of consideration that I'm going to try to give to this president. Now, we went through 4 years already, so I'm a little afraid. If you remember the last 4 years, it was a little jarring, and all I can do is hope that this 4 years be better, more responsible, and more human. I'm just gonna put it out there. Ty, what you got?
So, greetings, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to be co-hosting with D Schooner, so if you hear me interrupt or roll for a while for D, that's why we're doing it. Donald's going to be unavailable at this time, so D Schooner and I are going to split the duties. And I tell you, I said on this podcast in the very beginning when she first came out that I was cautiously optimistic about her winning. I said it from the very beginning. And I never revealed why I said that, but I'm going to reveal it now because I've had time to talk to people for the last 2 days that I was fully expected to vote for, who I actually did not vote for. And the problem is that a lot of men cannot see a woman in power like that. I had one guy tell me
at your front garden yard.
Ridiculous. One guy told me that I told somebody that I know very closely that I like her, but she's married to a white guy. I'm not going to vote for her. I'm voting for Trump. I mean, that's how misguided people are with regards to what we got going on. So I was prepared for the worst. I had the same feeling I had in 2016, I had this year. That's why I was cautiously optimistic, although I think Kamala was a much better option than we've ever had in history. You think about her credentials and the amount of elections she's won, the amount of campaigns she's ran, her lifelong civil service. She is one of the most, if not the most qualified. And Jim, you know the answer to this. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think she's probably the most qualified presidential candidate we've ever had, or at least in recent history. And it's just a shame that the closer we get to 2025, 26, 28, and 30, more it feels like 1951. Because when I heard these guys look me in my eye, blacks, whites, Hispanics, people, men say, listen, I didn't vote for her. I didn't vote, I voted for Trump. I just can't see a woman in charge of the free world. I want to share that.
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I was pretty dismayed, disheartened, disgusted. I was really for Kamala to get in there and with the new way forward. However, that didn't happen for us. I mean, people chose a bad white man over a good black woman. And it's pretty sad. Pretty sad that we can't, at this day and age, in 2024, get past the sexism, the misogyny, the racism. I mean, the people that vote for Trump, a lot of them are haters. A lot of them are racists. A lot of them are bigots. You know, and they got their wish. He finally won the popular vote of all the haters in America that just can't. I mean, I just felt like she was let down. There was that spirit of hope, and her rallies and everything she was saying was positive. I thought she was flawless, really. The only thing she didn't do was remove herself away from Biden.
Exactly.
Because of the problems that people had with Biden. You know, the Palestinians, you know, things that were going on that they didn't like that Biden was doing. She didn't detach herself. So she was with it, you know, unfortunately. So, you know, overall, I think the voting system does work. The power of the people voting is good. What they need to do is raise the requirements for candidates to vie for president. So in other words, there should be disqualifications that we have in writing that if you don't meet certain qualifications or you have convictions, you know, felony convictions, you should not be able to run for president. If you've broken your oath of office at any time in your lifetime, you're not allowed to take that same oath of office again. Okay? So I just think we need to build up the requirements to actually be president. You shouldn't be allowed to be in jail and be voted in as president. You know, I just think that a person like Trump couldn't even get a government job based on what he's done in his background. He can be a GS1, but you're going to make him president?
You get no clearance. We get zero clearance.
Exactly. I mean, I was in naval intelligence. I had top secret clearance and above. The things he did with classified information, he should never touch a classified document. Giving away secrets that Israel shared with us to the Russians in the Oval Office. Who's ever heard of this kind of nonsense? You know, if I was that callous, I mean, carefree with classified information that didn't protect it, I'd already be in prison. I'd be spending 20 years if I had done what Trump did. So I'm just saying we need to bring up our requirements. I mean, you have to tell your child to leave the room because Trump is speaking and he's going for president. You got to put your children away.
Right.
I mean, and the last thing I'll say, because I don't want to go on a big rant, is I think before he takes office, they need to check his physical, mental fitness for president. These last 3 weeks, he's shown that a screw is loose more than it before, several screws. So I mean, almost like he didn't want to win based on what the shit he was saying, spewing, you know, the hate, the vile comments, name calling, denigrating people. I just think something's not right there, and they need to check his mental fitness before he takes office. That might be our out. If they get him checked, that might be our out.
But then we're stuck with Vance. So thank you, Rich. Great job.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I have the list, D-School.
Hold on a second. Let me interrupt real quick.
Sure.
Because I just wanted to say something based on what Rich said.
Yeah.
I realized as the education that I'm getting is this guy couldn't have. I don't know what your qualifications were for your particular job. This guy couldn't have become a state trooper. I did background for over 22 years. He couldn't have been. He wouldn't have. If he passed the test, he wouldn't have made it past first processing day one, Saturday up in Albany. Much less got a background done, got his credit checked. He would and definitely wouldn't have made it then. And it's amazing that this is the highest office in our land, and this guy couldn't be a janitor in most of our schools.
Yes,
that's insane to me that the education that I got is that the qualifications are that low. Okay, Ty, I'm gonna let you take over, Ty.
All right,
but make sure you got it. Don't leave me.
So I got Mark, Dave, Derek, and JT. Mark, your hand went down. Are you still ready to go?
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I was trying to get a word and D didn't see my hand up. I don't want to interrupt the flow now. Before the next topic, just let me speak.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Thanks.
All right, David, you're up, brother.
You sure? Okay.
Absolutely, you're up, brother. Go get him.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not here to be nice today. All right? And you know, this is the problem. It's a problem on the media and everybody else. Everybody wants to be nice today. Let's face it. Y'all saw the numbers. Everybody on here, Miss Caffey, you're a senior in Donald's church. You went through the same crap my father went through. He never drove after 15. What happened to him in South Carolina? Okay? So I'm not here to be nice to our Latino brothers, the 45% of them, that is. Okay? Now, 45% of Latinos, that means every Latino group was eligible to vote who did vote. That's millions of voters in this country. Millions. Okay. 52% of white women voted for Trump. That means some turned from Kamala to Trump because they were fear of black and brown in this country because Trump scared them. Okay, we know it, you know it, and you're gonna come on here and lie, then they're throwing me the fuck off the show. Okay, because I'm not lying. I crunched numbers for all 2 straight days at my job, my off time of my job. I crunched numbers. I sat down at that desk and I went through it. I listened to MSNBC, CNN, and I crunched my own. And they came up with the same exact figures. But they didn't even have the fucking balls to say white women. But everybody came on TV and was ready to start blaming black voters. And that's bullshit. He only got 12% of black vote like he did in 2020 when Biden beat him. Stop blaming black people for fucking the losses. Okay, and let's go with the real fucking source of the information. There was a young lady on MSNBC today, a Puerto Rican lesbian young lady, who's always on there. She's one of the pundits. And she said, yeah, some of my people think they're white. They have white privilege. They want to be like white people, have white privilege. That's what she said on the show. Okay, you can't come over here after we bled, got hung, got shot, thrown out the business, beaten, raped, and every goddamn thing else happened to us, and shit on us like that in this struggle. This is the most consequential election of our time. And you shit on us. You piggyback off black civil rights for the last fucking, since 1980. Piggybacked off us. Got what you wanted. Our white gay brothers and sisters, white gay. I ain't gonna say black gay. My brother was gay. He was my oldest son's godfather, and he agreed with me. He said, Dave, okay, white gay want to piggyback off black civil rights, and they're gonna get things done because of it. What happened? Supreme Court legalized gay marriage. That same day, y'all all saw. If you didn't see, you need to go back to the videotape. They came outside of the Supreme Court, got on the fucking microphone, and said, we now have to help black people get their voting rights back, after they chopped up the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act on the same day. Well, once again, we get fucking hammered. Well, I'm getting tired of it, man. I'm ready to fucking boycott this business, that business, that business. You hurt the fucking wallet, they'll see the fucking life. One thing people don't like, white, especially rich white people don't like, they don't like their wallet getting tampered with. Okay, and I had enough, man. And these cops come today on my show. They used to work, they used to ride with them in fucking cars in the fucking hood and fucking tell me I should get on my fucking knees and worship this motherfucker. And then go on and coward enough to go on my messenger and tell me to go back to Africa if you don't like it here anymore. Go read my Facebook, what I said to him in return. Yeah. JT saw it. JT saw it.
Yeah.
When I said when I come to New York to get my physicals, I'm gonna tell you motherfuckers what hotel I'm staying at. I'm gonna have my fucking bags packed right next to me. Come down here. I'll tell you when I arrive and make me fucking pack my shit and go back to Africa. Yeah. My oldest son called me in a rage, and my cousins from York, PA, and them some bitches are huge, and we all working people. He wants to come with you? I'm tired of this shit. We're gonna blame who? We're gonna blame who's to blame here? 45% of Latinos, 52% of white women, and that's that. I don't want to hear this 12% of black people. We stopped Kamala from getting in there. That's a goddamn lie. And I won't
That's right.
tolerate it from anybody. And if you
That's
my
right.
cousins, you my family, you my friends, you my former friends, whatever. If you vote for that motherfucker, cancel me, block me out, and don't speak to me ever again until you get your fucking brains out of your ass and come back to reality. Okay? Because that fucking guy's gonna do just what he said. He's gonna round your fucking asses up now. Just like he did that Marine that fought in Afghanistan and Iraq, sent his ass out of the country when he got back home. His last time in the White House. People think I don't know what I'm talking about. I research every fucking day, man. I don't come on here not knowing what I'm talking about. You might not like the way I speak, but who gives a fuck now? Okay? By the way, Gaza is going to be beachfront property. Get your vacationing tickets ready. Okay, you want to go vacation? Go ahead.
Perfect,
Go ahead.
man, as always,
This is
man.
bullshit. Y'all know it's bullshit. You know who fucking fucked us. Stop being nice here. Okay, we've been, every time we get nice, we get our foot twisted in our ass. Enough already. Black civil rights have been fucked with enough. Stop piggybacking. All these other groups out here, fuck your shit. Sorry, we got to be on our own now. I'm sorry. And that's the way I feel. I'm upset. I'm pissed off. My cousin dropped her retirement papers. 40 years with the State Department and HUD. And she wasn't ready to go, but she's got to go.
Yeah. Go as you can go.
That's
you get
right.
thrown
To
out.
save her
Yeah.
pension.
Yeah, exactly. Well, David, as always, man, well stated, bro. We appreciate you, man. T-Bone, you're up.
Yes, sir. So just to kind of piggyback off what Rich said, the requirements need to be elevated. The requirements are high already. The requirements are high for everyone except a white male. If you're a white male, the requirements don't matter. If you're not, all the requirements matter. So the requirements are set. They're not going to change. What needs to change is white males need to be held to the same requirements as everyone else. As far as the Latinos, the Latino women or the Latino men that didn't vote for Kamala, I've read that if he goes back to the 1798 Alien and Enemies Act, approximately 1 in 20 Latinos will be deported from this country. That's going to hit those families really, really hard. And for those that did not vote for her, deservedly so, when it starts to happen, all I have to say is goodbye. Goodbye. That's it.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Also, the thing that bothers me the most probably is that, and it's not just Hispanic men, it's black men too, but it's a lot of people, obviously white women. A lot of people don't think that women are intelligent enough to lead or can be good leaders. And all of us started school at 4 years old. We started in pre-K.
Right.
From pre-K through the time we finished whatever higher education we completed. Were guys always the smartest ones in the class?
Heck no.
Hell no. Hell no. Guys, listen, there may have been a guy among the smartest women in the class, but guys were not the smartest people in the class. There's nowhere that I've ever gone to school where a guy has been the valedictorian, not in my grade anyway. I never saw a guy in my college graduate summa cum laude. Listen, I don't understand where these backwards ass thinking people think that some dumb idiot, a proven fucking idiot, is smarter than everyone else. And that goes to another thing, representation. Whoever runs this country is supposed to represent all of us.
All of us.
There is nothing about Donald Trump, nothing that he does, nothing that he says that represents anything about anything pertaining to the way I feel about anything or the way I think about anything. And it's probably the same with most people or all people on this Zoom call. Yeah. I'm just really baffled. And another thing, Kamala not getting the votes that she needed to overtake this guy or to beat this guy, it has nothing to do with anything she said or didn't say or anything she did or didn't do. She did everything exactly as she should have. And the people fell short. It had nothing to do with her. It had everything to do with the people that had the ability to vote and put her in, and they fucking chose a clown instead of her. Period. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, Derek. So I agree with Rich on that point Derek just said, to a degree that I would have liked to have seen her separate herself from Biden a little bit. But even if she did do that, it would not have been enough to change results. Like Derek just said,
this guy is on stage, making believe he's having oral sex with a microphone.
Isn't that incredible?
mean, there's nothing that he could do that would deter people from voting for him. That has nothing to do with anything Kamala said or didn't say or didn't do.
Incredible. I got JT, AC, and AC is going to be the cutoff. I'm going to give it to Mark. They're going to go ahead and do the first video.
1 second. I have my finger.
I'm sorry, Dave. Look,
Real fast. I'm sorry.
Dave, give me another finger next time.
Real sorry. You know, Derek, man, thank you, brother. Thank you for that. Man, you're spot on, brother. And let me just tell you this. This shit where black women can't lead shit, our mothers really led our households, didn't they? And that's the hardest fucking job ever. That's the hardest job ever.
JT, you're up, baby.
Yeah, I agree with it, especially Dave. I had to open the door, so I might have missed a couple of fucks or shitheads or whatever. I'm sure they were in there. But Derek, what you said is on point. We got to start at the top. I was shocked. I mean, I've been here since 1951. To know that this country that I went to service for, came home and was a police officer for, that you can be a fucking felon and run for president. Everything stops right there. I don't believe that shit should happen. How
got 70 million votes,
Derek said they always make it, how do you put it, Derek?
The requirements are high for everyone except white males.
But they didn't expect a black guy to be running for president and be convicted of a felon. So why is that even in there?
Right.
Why? That's my theory. Only thing I disagree with what Kamala was preaching was the payment for transvestites or transsexuals operation. She should have left that at the door. That's a little bit.
So we never heard the rest of that commentary. That commentary wasn't just about that. It was so if they come into the jail and they're transgendered and they need medication while they're in there, they'll get the care they need like any other person. So that was it wasn't just while they're in there to decide I want to be a girl, they're going to pay for the change. That wasn't what it was. She was saying that if they come to jail and they're transgendered and something goes wrong, they want the jails to be equipped to take care of them like they take care of any other man or any other woman. Which is what
they've been getting that treatment
exactly.
since we were cops.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I agree with that. But
sorry, JT.
No, I agree with that. But I didn't hear that. Just like I tell you,
they only play
I don't listen to politics, CNN, Fox, whatever. I don't listen to all that.
I researched it, JT. I couldn't believe you said that. I researched it. That's why I saw it.
What they showed was just a bit of it. I didn't see it. But that's true, you know.
Okay, AC, you're up, baby.
Actually, Derek took care of what I wanted to say. I'm ready to go to the video.
All right, so Mark want to say something first, then we go to the video.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I was going to say something different, and I will. But I first got to say that, you know, you guys have touched on it perfectly. And, you know, the way Derek summed it up after Dave brought it out was just awesome, you know, but this country is what it is. And I'll go back to what Derek said years ago, which is the system was made to function the way it's functioning. But changing the atmosphere before we started this, I really wanted to just acknowledge our own Quiet Storm Kyle, who not only participated but finished the New York Marathon. That was quite an accomplishment, and I just wanted to give her accolades.
Yes,
I was right behind her.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm wearing my shirt today. Thank
All
you.
right, yeah.
Excellent,
Congratulations.
excellent.
How many is that now?
This was number 50th, my 50th marathon, and my 11th New York City.
Wow.
Derek, did you say 50th?
50.
50th, 5-0.
I don't want to do 50 or nothing, Derek.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna start training. We're gonna start training Jerry, and next year she's gonna do it with you.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby. Yes, yes. All right, D Scooter, we're ready for you when you're ready. The first video is, which one is that? The first video?
All right. But before we go to the video, I just want to look in the comments. I just want to give a little thumbs up to the people watching: Beverly Harrison Wells, Renee Henderson, Tracy M. Phillips, Eddie Sugar, Irvin. Had a nice message. As I drop it, I'm going to read it. Don't give up hope. God's in control. I was crying all night long until I realized this man will be exposed and taken down soon.
Today is Renee Henderson's birthday, by the way.
Okay, happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
I truly believe
Happy
this,
birthday,
and it
Renee.
was too easy for him. Also, keep the faith. Who else we got? Did I miss anybody? Derek, not Derek, Donald Coleman.
Yep.
And that looks like that's it, unless you guys can see somebody else.
That's it. That's it. Very good. Thank you.
All right. So
D-Scooter.
last week we spoke about an incident here on Long Island where there was a trooper that was supposedly, he reported that he got shot in the leg while helping a motorist. As the events unfolded, the details started to come out. That is not really what happened. I've got some specific details I'll share after the video, but just look at this as the last video that was put up. Let's take a look.
We are learning so much more tonight about the New York State trooper who claimed he was shot in the leg by a would-be killer on the Southern State Parkway on Long Island last week. Turns out he was not shot by a bad guy. And when the district attorney discovered that, they suspended the trooper and took away his gun. It also turns out his father was once a New York cop who lost his job. Here's Long Island reporter Shantae Lands.
Shot fired, I'm hit.
It's the radio call causing disturbing controversy.
I think my kneecap's broken. Vehicle was a dark black Charger, fled westbound.
27-year-old New York State Trooper Thomas Masia told police he was shot in his leg on the Southern State Parkway last week by a distressed driver that he says he was trying to help.
We have reason to believe that the incident did not occur the way it was reported. The search for the Dodge Charger, labeled as a vehicle of interest at the beginning of this investigation, has been canceled.
State police say Trooper Masia was suspended without pay for violating the department's rules and regulations. A full salute for Trooper Masia as the 27-year-old was wheeled out of Nassau University Medical Center. His father, Thomas Masia Sr., an ousted NYPD cop, according to Newsday, for his involvement in selling drugs, kisses him on the head. Troopers supporting their colleague, now in disbelief.
I'm very disappointed. I think that it overshadows the outstanding and great work that the members of the state police and the state troopers do each and every day in an attempt to keep the public safe.
On Friday, police executed a search warrant at his West Hempstead home that he shares with his parents.
His second time being injured.
Yeah.
You know, he was hurt before. He was hit by a car while he was also working.
Trooper Masia's next-door neighbor, Diane Sharon, says the accident happened in upstate New York. State police confirming the vehicle that allegedly struck him in 2022 was never found. Troopers took Masia's shield, service weapon, and personal guns as part of his suspension. They're now questioning if Masia could have shot himself.
We are aggressively pursuing all leads and attempting to gather all of the facts.
Investigators say Trooper Masia's mental health is being considered. They'll still have to determine if criminal charges should be filed. In Farmingdale, Shantae Lands, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Wow, wow, wow. Great video, D. Thank you so much, D. School. As always, well done, man. That's interesting, to say the least. Dave, talk to me, bro. What you got?
Yeah. First things first. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
First things first. Why the fuck is he allowed to live with a convicted felon, his daddy?
Wow.
Second thing, he put the whole black community in jeopardy because you know they're looking for a black guy in a fucking Charger. Okay, including New York City, because the border's right down there near the Cross Island, and we coming. Okay? Number two, you're going to get some black guy's ass whooped or killed or shot in a
No
black
reason.
Charger, okay, and that poor guy could be coming from work or just dropping his kid off back to mommy. All right, so this shit, we don't know if he's gonna be locked up yet. No, you're gonna put fucking cuffs on his ass, or you're gonna take mine. They rusted, but you can put them on him. They'll fit. Okay, enough of this shit, man. He trying to like clear his daddy's name, try to make it look like a hero, the Massey family. Man, come on, man. We all remember the Dowd. We all remember the Dowd investigation. I worked with Bobby Dowd, the Dowd's brother. They made him retire after what his brother did in Brooklyn. Come on, man. Enough is enough, man. They told me when I got hired, they went back to fucking 6th grade with me in my investigation. Sixth fucking grade. I said,
Eighth grade for
anybody
me.
went back to sixth.
Eighth grade.
I
Eighth
said,
grade.
wait, how the fuck you gonna go back to 6th grade? I remember my teacher, Mr. Griffin, because he's my junior high school football coach, and he wrote a letter for me. Come on, man. They went to the fire department on my block on Leonard Avenue, hose fire, at fucking 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, come on, man. The fuck?
They
You know
went
what
back
I'm
to
saying?
Mr. Manis for me, Derek. Remember
Yeah.
Mr. Manis for the Bill
Yeah.
School? The
My-
math teacher? They asked her about it. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. They go back to teaching with dementia and shit, trying to find out shit on you. And fucking, come on, man. I mean, enough is enough, man. This fuck need to be locked up, fired, locked up, okay? And pay a fucking fine, using all the resources and shit. And New York City was down there too. You know they came from the 105. You know they
heck yeah.
came. We came. I worked in the 105. We was coming.
Yeah.
Shit. That's all I gotta say. I'm
All right,
tired
thanks,
of shit,
Dave.
man.
I
I'm
appreciate
pissed
you,
off
brother.
today, fellas. I'm sorry. Everybody listening, I'm sorry I'm pissed off, but this is what it's gonna be till 4 years from now.
Till
Sorry.
4:30. All right, DK, thanks a lot. Jamal, you're up, baby.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. You know, again, I just want to emphasize how they say that the Officer Macia's mental health is at question. You know, so again, you know, we have to realize that, you know, police officers, by and large, most of them are out there doing their job, protecting the public, you know, not violating anyone's civil rights. But again, we must realize that police officers are people too. And I'm not giving them a pass, but all I'm just saying is that when we talk about, you know, mental health deficiencies, hey, listen, we have some officers that are out there, you know, wearing the badge, and, you know, they have some diminished capacities, you know, mentally. So again, I really stress that the department, they need to do the best that they can to try to wean out or target these individuals that could become a public a public nuisance, or, you know, a public dilemma for the individuals out there that they're serving. You know, again, you know, we've seen how many civilians have been the victim of police corruption and police brutality. And so again, I just feel that the police departments, you know, nationwide, they really should have some type of either a test or some type of screening that they need to do to evaluate these officers, so that if there is some type of mental incapacity that they're having, you know, they need to have these individuals get the medical assistance that they need before they could be out there to serve the public in a most beneficial way. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jamal. Appreciate you, man. D Schooner, you're up, big fella. What you got?
Let me say this, Dave, you are 100% right. You're not supposed to be living with a felon. When I came on the state police, you know how many people had to cut off friends that thought I was being a certain, I just can't hang out with you. I can't have this job and hang out with you. That's in the rules. That's not a thing you should know. The second thing I wanted to say was understand for our listening public, a lot of heads are going to roll. A lot of, somebody's got something going on. A lot of things are going to, a lot of guys are going to lose time, lose days. We know what that means. Punishment behind this, because there are too many things that allowed him to go through the cracks. We're supposed to be there to plug up the cracks, And I think what played in here, Jamel, you said it best. Mental illness, maybe, but my statement that I've been saying since I came in here: freedom ain't free. We fighting, we marching for these rules and freedom, and you can't say, and you can't ask, and you can't tell, and nobody's need to know. This is what's playing into these decisions that are made for the people that are responsible for our safety. We can't know what job they were on before. We can't know what he did. We can't tell him he can't hang out with his dad. We can't, all of these little rules that we fight for, we march for. We do all of that. That stuff is great. But it extends to law enforcement too. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a felon who's a president. You think we can watch who's riding up and down the Southern State Parkway?
Nah, bro.
34 felons.
We got no wins.
When I was doing backgrounds, you're not getting past me. One felony. Back when I started doing it, you couldn't. You one misdemeanor. Now they're letting guys with felonies because freedom ain't free. We got to understand the rules. People make mistakes. You got to understand. We're a softer place. This is the kind of law enforcement officers we're going to have because of the way our nature is going. Allow, understand. We can't have that idea in our brain and then complain, right? I'm mad because this guy got through.
Exactly.
This gentleman, I'm going to give you some, because I don't know whether everybody was watching it or has the detail. He shot himself with a ghost gun. That you can make with a computer. If you have a 3D computer in your home, you can make a gun. Yeah. The problem is Glock, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, all of these places, test, retest. So when you make that in your house, you're probably going to shoot yourself with it.
Heck yeah.
It's not it's not a real gun. And this is what happened. Where his house is a mile away from where this incident took place. So literally he shot himself and then went and made this report. Now, from the beginning, if you guys can, and I encourage you to watch last week's show when we had some people alluding to this was Fugazi. This was not really. Wait for the investigation. The investigation gonna prove it out. There's no way. We got to trust in the system, right? We just talked about our election. You got to trust in the system. He's having mental problems. He's doing bad stuff. A lot of money was found at the house. A lot of things. Really? It's the investigation, man. You got to let the investigation play out. It would be wonderful if we were all perfect. I am not. I am not. I'm amazed at some of the things these people are doing, but I am not perfect. But I'm going to tell you this. If you let and trust in the investigation and those of us in the room that are doing the job and are professional law enforcement professionals. I'm not saying these things aren't going to happen, but we're going to catch you. And that's what happened here. He got caught. And he's suspended. He's probably end up going to lose his job. He's going to end up going to jail.
Yeah, I think so.
Because all of that money, what did you say, Dave? The 105, whole bunch of folks showed up. You got to pay for that. That costs you and for our listening public, when you call the police or the fire, that costs money. Stop thinking it's just something free. So when you're legitimately affected or hurt or injured, they defray the cost because you're legitimate. But when it starts being BS, you got to pay for that. There's going to be a bottom line and amount that somebody's going to be responsible for this. So I just caution people just to call the police because you don't like what the person in your house is saying. Be very, very careful. It's going to start costing money, especially with this guy we got, especially with this new guy we got. A lot of police things going to change real soon here.
So
that's all I got. Go ahead, Ty.
I appreciate. I was supposed to go with Derek, if you don't mind. I just want to say one thing. I just feels like to me they're giving him a lane for an excuse with the mental illness.
Of course.
It seems like to me they're preparing us for an inevitability. That's my opinion. That's all I want to say. Derek, JT, and then Mark.
Yeah, I don't know if a rule change has occurred or could have occurred, but those of us that were in law enforcement, we know that you could not get hired if you lived in a household with a felon. And I actually know someone that was forced to move, or they would not have gotten hired. They had to move. So, you know, and there's no way that anyone doing an investigation, a pre-hire investigation for this kid, wouldn't have known who his dad is. His dad was one of the most high-profile criminals in the history of NYPD. He went down with the whole Mike Dowd thing. Mike Dowd was the big-time drug dealer from the 7-5, and Thomas Massia was his connect, and he worked in the 9-0 precinct, and he was his connect, and he was literally selling drugs on duty while he worked in the 9-0. Very, very high profile. Everyone knew who he was. Donald and I actually had an incident. Well, Donald's brother Tim had the incident, and this was back late 80s. Donald and I were leaving Bally's in Rockville Center, and as we approached, I believe it was Ocean Avenue, a car cut Donald's brother Tim off. I was in the car with Donald. Donald was driving, I was a passenger, and his brother Tim was in his Mustang separately there. A car cut Tim off intentionally. Tim jumps out of his car. The guy jumps out of his car. The guy showed the police shield. Tim said, I have one of those too, showed his correction shield. They had words. Everyone got back in their cars and left. About a week later, I get a notification that I need to appear at a Nassau County police precinct. And turns out that this gentleman said that Tim pulled a gun on him. And there was no guns pulled. Each one of them pulled their shield. Donald and I didn't even get out of the car. We just watched, and we went on about our business. This guy that the incident occurred with was Thomas Massia, Sr. And he's the one that later ended up being one of the biggest drug dealing police officers in the history of the police department. But yeah, we actually had a little run-in with the gentleman.
I remember that, Derek. Yeah. I remember that. JT, you're up, brother.
Yeah, I got some agreements and disagreements. Going back to Jamal, you know, I can't remember yesterday, so I'm trying to put this together. Jamal, you said they should have mental health screening or whatever. How often? You do it every 6 months? 6 months? This guy go crazy the next day. You don't know when. Crazy comes at weird times. Jim put up a thing that gave me a hint. Somebody knew that boy was crazy. His partner, somebody.
Right.
But the big code blue, you don't want to snitch on a fucking code blue till it goes black. Come on. Tell me the truth. Mental health, you can go crazy right now and take a test and pass. You got to speak out, man. If my partner, any partner I had, I thought was crazy. I mean, John, my partner John was a little slow, but he wasn't crazy. He wasn't crazy, you know. I mean, sitting to wait for a stop sign to change is, you know, look off.
a little bit
but
off.
it ain't crazy, you know. We all done it. Shit. Nobody want to admit it, but you done it.
Mark turned me in several times, but I passed the test.
Yeah. But somebody had to know that boy was crazy, you know. And that, just like somebody else said, that doesn't give him a free pass. Well, I think I'm crazy, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot my fucking self with a ghost gun. And have
who was his daddy's friends to let him get hired?
Exactly, bro.
Yes.
Now you talking. As the Dirk was saying, now you talking. You couldn't even live in the same house with somebody. It didn't have to be. If you were renting a house from a felon, you better move
made
out.
sure they told my black ass that. They told my black ass that 3 times.
That's
it. 3 times they told me that.
Thank you, JT. All right, Mark, you're up, man. Be gentle.
Yeah, no, I just want to say, especially to our listeners, administratively, you know, the fact that he wasn't supposed to be living with a felon, we don't know the circumstances, whether he used another address. And then after he got on, he came back to live with daddy. And of course, the police department, it might have fallen through the cracks. Other than that, you know, it doesn't matter what your dad did. That's not going to get you disqualified from getting a police job. So I just want our audience to know that the only disqualifying thing that came out so far was the fact that he was living with a felon. But once again, we don't know when he was going through his investigation. He could have been with a girlfriend. He could have been with a cousin. If you use another address, I mean, it's done on other jobs. We all know the deal. So, you know, that might not even be an issue. I just want to bring that out to our listeners.
Well done, Mark. Thank you. That's very good. As an administrator, I knew you'd come through with something like that. D Schooner, I think I see no more hands at this time. I see a finger from AC. It's blocking the entire screen. Go ahead, C.
Oh, you're on pause,
Make
AC.
yourself handsome.
You're on pause.
That wasn't his finger.
When he was coming out the hospital, where those troopers come from?
All over the place.
I've never seen that many troopers since.
All over the place.
It came from Buffalo, as far as Buffalo.
I saw a couple of state park police. I'm like, well, that's a lot of troopers there.
Sure was.
Hey, Ty, I'm sorry. I do have a question. I have a question for D. D, let me ask you a question. If he was off duty, because the state police operate a little different than regular police departments, would he have been able to access his car and go on duty on his own?
Say that again. If he was off duty, could he access
his police car to go on duty?
That would have been a problem.
Yeah.
You have to be scheduled to work. You can't just, willy-nilly access your, No. That's actually happened. That's a problem.
Okay.
Because he's so close to home.
So if he was home and he shot himself and then went to work, jumped in the car, and that wouldn't work. Because I know, like, out of state, guys take their cars home, so it's easier for them to get involved being in uniform or not being in uniform, but at least be in the police cars. I was just curious.
Yeah, just a quick FYI, where he lived, he's on his post.
Right.
So I without knowing the exact tour he was working, if he's working a 10 to 10, you can go home and have lunch. You can go home and have dinner. If he shot himself then and then drove a mile and made up this story, that's more what it seems like.
Okay.
He went home and tested his ghost gun out?
Huh?
He went home to test out his ghost gun?
Yeah.
He got shot?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm going to be the host. I apologize. Hey, Cheech, you up, brother. I'm sorry. AC, you got more AC? You got more AC?
I need to go in front of Cheech, but I just want to say, just because someone's maybe having an emotional disturbance at the time or not feeling well, that doesn't excuse a crime.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Thank you very much. As always, AC, eloquent and exact. Go ahead, Cheech, talk to me.
The other thing that looks suspicious to me is that they said this was his first tour back from his previous injury, of which no car was found, which that's another red flag. But his first tour back, like you didn't want to go back. That was suspicious to me. And the only other thing I wanted to say was, hey, he can't be a state trooper no more, but in 4 years he can run for president.
Woo! Man, you are preaching now, boy. You are preaching now. Wow. All right, we have another video up, guys. I see no other hands at this time, no other fingers pointed at me. D Schooner, what's the next video on the queue up for us, bro?
Yeah, just a quick comment before we go to the next video.
It's already 4 o'clock.
I've been trying not to interrupt anybody. Reference to Derek's comment and his incident. Those incidents happen all the time. Everybody goes back to the station and they have a different view of what happened, and you can get some handcuffs put on you because of what somebody says. And we've been joking around, but I really want to emphasize, get you some cameras, man. And they're not expensive. I put one in the chat for everybody in the room. We'll figure out a way to get it to anybody that wants it watching. You get $20, get yourself a camera, put it in your car. I carry one with me all the time. It's right here. It's always in my hand. I go with me all the time, just because I've actually seen, and I've had actually, I don't want to share the stories, but been the result of somebody making up a whole story to where I was like, that's a great story. The problem is it didn't happen because I was sitting right there. But and they come up with a great story, and people, I believe it. I definitely believe that could have happened. and all of a sudden you got handcuffs on and you're in the cell going, well, what are you talking about? Without any proof. So if you want to protect yourself, get you some cameras.
Yeah, don't cost that much.
Spend a little change, a little coffee money, and get yourself a couple of cameras. I just wanted to say that. Okay.
Excellent. What's the next one?
Our next video is going to take us to we're talking about law enforcement officers doing unimaginable things. Our next video takes us to Detroit. Okay. You almost won't believe what these officers did.
New tonight at 11, 2 Detroit police officers have been charged with felony home invasion after breaking into the home of another police officer in Macomb County. Our Kelly Vaughn has been following the story, and she joins us in studio tonight with the details. This seems like a very unusual case.
Yeah, that's exactly what prosecutors say. So the county prosecutor says 3 women, 2 of whom are police officers, are facing charges for allegedly breaking into the Roseville home of another officer and destroying things in his home as well as stealing his property. Now, the women are each facing 15-year felony charges for second-degree home invasion. That's along with other charges. Now, the allegations are that on April 11th, 29-year-old Detroit police officer Brianna Cabano, 21-year-old officer Dana Sears, and then a third woman, Colleen Compton, who is not a police officer, broke into the home of the other Detroit police officer. Now, Macomb County prosecutor Peter Lucido says no one is above the law.
The best word I can describe it is, it starts to violate that which we've all learned, which is police officers are supposed to serve and protect. But in this case, they're charged in a case. And now they have to deal with their own internal, which is the Detroit Police Department.
Now, we did reach out to the Detroit Police Department, and they told us in a statement that the officers are currently suspended with pay, but the chief has recommended that they be suspended without pay following these criminal charges. Now, all 3 women are scheduled to be in court Wednesday, June 14th, for their first preliminary hearing.
Kelly, do we know by any means why these police officers did this?
No, not yet. That information wasn't revealed by the prosecutors, and police aren't talking about that yet at this point, but that's something we'll learn more in the probable cause hearing when they present that information to the judge, and then he decides if they have enough to move forward, enough evidence to move forward, or they can decide to throw out the case. So we'll be learning more details then.
All right, Kelly, thank you so much for that report tonight.
Boy, people have lost their last mind. That's unbelievable. Cheech,
yeah,
only hand up.
Only thing I wanted to say is, they said it was another officer's house they broke into, right? I'm no detective, but lovers quarrel.
And you are a detective, yes.
T-Bone, you're up, baby.
Yeah, and I agree with Cheech. The thing that puzzles me is you have 3 people that broke in this house, 2 of them police officers. I'm baffled that there wasn't one adult in the room that would have said, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, Derek.
you think one of them, just one, this is a bad idea, but maybe there was a 4th one and she said it was a bad idea and didn't go. Who knows? But you think.
Yeah, I have nothing, School. Cheech said it all, man. Somebody's mad because their girlfriend ain't their girlfriend no more or whatever. And that's all I have. Anybody have anything else? We're going to move forward, or you want to talk about this some more?
Threesome gone wrong. That's all.
All right, Mark, you're up, Chief. Go ahead, man.
Hey.
Yeah, no, it just goes to show you that, if it is true, emotions sometimes can overrule common sense. And, and every officer on here has been on a case where we witnessed it firsthand.
Or done it.
You gotta watch these.
Hey, God.
Either on a case or part of a case.
Listen, statute of limitations is all up.
God.
Go ahead, Chief. You're up, baby.
I know we're making light of the situation.
Yeah, we are.
And thank God that nothing happened. But, I mean, here you have 2 that are officers that probably were armed at the time into another officer's home. You don't know who else could have been in that home, if he's got another girlfriend or somebody else armed in the home, or if a neighbor saw them breaking in, and now, it could have been disastrous too. And that's the thing, like Derek said, wasn't there somebody there, 21-year-old, 29-year-old? Hey, the 29-year-old, you should have more common sense. I'll let the 21-year-old pass, but you're an officer, so you shouldn't pass. But still, that could have been something gone very sideways very quick.
So Cheech, what you're saying is you would have passed up on the threesome. Nobody shot at nobody. Two cops coming in, cop that lived there, and nobody pulled their gun and made a shot.
Second degree.
It was an agreed threesome, and then something went wrong. Maybe he had a girl in there. And I'm a detective.
I like the way you think. I like the way you think, JT. We don't have any evidence of that, so we got to go.
No, we don't. But
all right, School, you're up, baby.
All right. I'd like to say that these are foreign, isolated incidents where this thing doesn't happen. No, stuff like this happens all the time. This is not really that bad. And I know you're going to say, oh my God, that means the police department is riddled with police officers are human, just like everybody watching. And you got people 1/10% that have problems, either emotional problems, mental problems, and just I like to say their brains don't fire the way they're supposed to. Derek said it best. 3 cops in this room. Somebody should pull my coat.
Please.
I might be on some crazy stuff. I've been on some crazy, but every once in a while, one of my buddies, you might want to sleep this one out. You might want to sit this one out.
Please don't let me jump.
And we don't have that. But what you have to say is police departments mimic society as it is. We've got people in our family that do all kinds of crazy stuff. And you look at them and you go, wait a minute, we were raised by the same mother and father, and we lived in it. So we ate the same food, we slept in the same bed, took the same shower, and you decided to do this. So I think we have to understand it from that perspective. These officers are 100% wrong. It happens though. And the only thing we can do, like, we got to trust. I'm going to bring it back to what we started with. We got to trust in the system, man. It ain't a perfect system, but we really got to trust that the law enforcement around is going to take care of law enforcement within. I'm at a time with the state police where we didn't always have what's called the internal affairs, right? We didn't have that. That's the way after I started. I think sometime in the 90s, we started having an internal affairs. In the beginning, I know when my first, I was sharing this with some of the guys in the room. When I first became a detective, I was internal affairs. With the guys I'm working with, Mark Friday. Saturday, I had to put the cuffs on them. we were buddies. We were drinking coffee.
Yeah.
We got to trust in the system. The system's not comfortable. JT, you said the blue wall. I fought that my whole career. It's not comfortable. We got to do it, though. We put our hands up. I swear, you're not going to be my friend, but I got to do my job. And we have to be confident that the people that are sworn to do their job are going to do their job, even when some others that are sworn don't. And I think if we put that in our minds, that somebody, like I said, all of these people with the trooper and now with these, there's going to be other people with heads roll. As my supervisors in the room, help me. I've been times I got dinged and I was on vacation in France, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna take a hit on this." I'm like, "How am I gonna take it?" One of my guys decided to have a momentary lapse, and I got a dig, and it's on my record. And people go, "Well, what happened?" I was actually in France, and they're like, "Well, how'd you get digged in France?" It's the job. So I just want people to understand that there's so many checks and balances. And sometimes you slip through the cracks, and one time or another,
you don't.
It's going to come out, but that's the system. The system we got to trust in the system, because some other systems don't have any checks, any balances. And if you drive a car, you got to have a pocket full of cash. Am I right? If you drive a car, no checks and balances, you got to get from here to here, you got to have some cash.
And piece of advice, do not check your weapon in your patrol car on a midnight.
Well, Ty, you might want to tell that story.
Expert witness there. Expert witness.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. Just administratively, though, Hempstead didn't have their own internal affairs. I was it. However, and I think the state troopers were the same. If it was a criminal act, we would refer it to the DA's office. So there were checks and balances. I don't want our audience to think that the state police or other police departments that don't have a per se internal affairs can run willy-nilly. We can't. We still answer to somebody, but it's just not in the department. If it's criminal, it goes to the DA's office.
Good point.
Always.
Good point, Mark.
Yes. So it's 4:06, D. I think we had enough time for one more video, and I want to shut it down at 4:25, and we're going to pray ourselves out by 4:30, and we're going to be happy today. Jerry, you got something to say? See what they're waiting.
I was just saying bye, Derek.
Okay.
Go, everyone.
All right, people. I'll talk to you later.
So,
Take care.
Right.
everyone have a great day. Have a take off.
Great night, brother. Thanks, Derek.
All right, buddy. Our next video is going to take us to Chi-Town, Chicago. We recently, last couple of days, we lost an officer, and these are some of the details and the results.
Details tonight in the murder of a Chicago police officer.
The 23-year-old is now facing charges in connection with a deadly shooting. Tia Ewing has been following this story. She joins us now live with the latest. Tia.
Well, Don and Scott, we actually just got his mugshot, and it's very interesting. We'll show it to you here shortly, but let's talk about what we've learned. 23-year-old Darren McMillan was already a convicted felon, and now he's facing 6 felony counts. One, obviously, for attempted murder of the officer that he dragged when he tried to get away from the scene. He's also facing first-degree murder charges for the killing of 26-year-old Chicago police officer Enrique Martinez. And let's show you that mugshot that I was just talking about. We just learned yesterday of McMillan's long criminal history. The 23-year-old has been arrested for unlawful possession of a weapon and has a pending case out of Will County for possessing and manufacturing cannabis. Months ago, he tried cheating on his drug test. On October 16th, that's when he was placed on electronic monitoring, and an ankle monitor was put on out of Will County. McMillan was the passenger in the stopped car Monday night in the 8,000 block of South Ingleside when Officer Enrique Martinez and his partner approached the car, pulled out a gun modified with a switch on it, able to fire off multiple rounds in just seconds.
After noticing McMillan in the front passenger seat reaching for a bag on the floor of the vehicle, Officer Martinez and his partner gave verbal direction for McMillan to stop reaching. At this point, McMillan produced a fully automatic handgun equipped with a machine gun conversion device and an extended magazine, and fired in the direction of Officer Martinez. The driver of the vehicle was also fatally struck multiple times by McMillan's gunfire. The weapon was recovered inside the vehicle.
Martinez was driven to the hospital by his fellow officers, but sadly died. McMillan pushed the driver of the car he was in out of the driver's seat, and that's when he dragged that officer. That officer discharged one bullet into the ground. He was injured, but we are told he will be okay. As for McMillan, he then took off on foot. He then broke into a woman's house and removed his ankle monitor. He cut it off with a knife. He was quickly caught just a few blocks away, and there was a third suspect inside of that vehicle when all of this happened. That person was in the rear seat of the vehicle. I am told that that person was released without any charges. The Chicago Police Department saying that that person had nothing to do with the officer's death. And now, as for McMillan, he will be inside a courtroom tomorrow morning at 11:30 over at Layton Criminal Courthouse. And of course, we will be there. Live tonight, Tia Ewing, Fox 32, Chicago.
Well, thank you, D. Question, was this a car stop or?
Yes, car stop.
And I routinely tell people one of the most dangerous things we do is a routine car stop. Because in your mind, you're pulling him over because his taillight is out. But that guy could have just shot his wife and killed him. And he's thinking that the only reason you pull him over is because you know he shot somebody. And it's hell on wheels. I got Mark, you're up first, sir.
Yeah, so, once again to our audience, this is why when the police pull you over, it's very important to listen to what we say, our commands. And we try to say that, comply. Because these type of incidents happen so quickly. And of course, action is twice as fast as reaction. So, if you're making jerky, quick movements and it's dark in the vehicle and we really can't make it out, these are the type of incidents that make our hair on the back of our neck stand up. And, we have incidents where people get shot because they jerk around and move too quickly. And maybe they don't have a weapon. So, even going for your wallet, even going for ID or your insurance, take the time to stop, slow things down for that officer, put him at ease, and even ask, hey, my license is here, my registration is here, can I get it? And you put that officer at ease, you're creating a situation where the odds that you'll drive away astronomically in your favor.
Yeah, I agree. D. School.
Mark said an awesome thing. Wait to get directions. If you know where your information is it okay if I look in there? But I want you to understand this gentleman was a passenger, just a little information background in a car. And we all know, those of us that made car stops, especially if you're by yourself, you're more focused on the driver than the passenger or the person in the back. And I say that because this gentleman went into a bag and was told by both officers, don't go into that bag. Most people will hear that. Let me see your hands. Don't go into that bag. Don't reach. I say that to everybody else. Look at what I'm doing. This is the way I approach police officers. Look, hands hurt. Guns, knives don't hurt. Hands hurt. I want to be very clear with that. So when you are walking with your big jacket and you're going to you ask first, because we don't know what you're going into your pocket for. A lot of people would say, well, it's only in his pocket and it's only a
You don't care.
That handgun was modified to be fully automatic.
Yeah.
That was a handgun that he had. Now, let me give, for people that don't understand weapons, a regular handgun, you might be able to shoot 18 rounds in 6 seconds. That sounds pretty fast. But if you modify that handgun and then you extend the clip, you can triple that in 6 seconds.
Yeah, 18 rounds.
Maybe quadruple. And this gentleman in the passenger seat shot the driver and the police officer, killing him, and killed the driver too. I'm not saying that because I want to scare anybody, but understand when you're approached by law enforcement officers, this kind of stuff we train for all the time. And there's no way to be 100% perfect because this poor officer lost his life. He still has to do his job, but he lost his life. We all left home and we knew we weren't coming back, and we kissed everybody and said, hey, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back, because you still have to do your job even though all the holes aren't closed.
That's right.
And I want you to understand, people don't care about themselves or each other, because we always got the mindset, and this is for those watching, well, he cares about himself and somebody else, so you would react to him like this. We don't deal with people like that. We deal with people that don't care about themselves. They'll shoot themselves.
That's right.
This guy shot the driver. He shot the police officer and then took off with some idiot in the back, and then did a home invasion, and then took off his gun. See, he's not thinking. So I just want to put it in the proper perspective that when you're watching, we don't necessarily deal with people that are have both oars in the water. They're trying to get away. They don't care. They're reaching for, we think it's this kind of gun, it's that kind of gun. You got to be prepared for the worst. So when police officers talk to you and they say similar to this, hold your ears, let me see your hands. And you say, why do they have to be so rough and so? Because this is what happens from a simple car stop. This guy don't go home to his family and his kids. He don't go home no more. Everybody in that station, everybody knows when we lose one, we're all affected. We all in this room been twisted the whole month of October, just because we dealing with everything everybody else deals with, because that's what love is. So I want everyone to understand there's a different perspective. If you want to understand, ask a law enforcement officer. Well, why did you speak like that? He'll tell you. I didn't know who you were. I didn't just come from hanging out with you. I don't know. You got your hands in your pocket. You got your hands on a gun. You got your hands, you're reaching for stuff. I don't know what's in that car. So I just want everybody to understand the demeanor of a law enforcement officer is that way, because this is what happens. You know, leaving, you're not going to go home the end of that night. So you're trying to mitigate that as much as possible. And sometimes, like in this case, it doesn't work. That's all I got.
So well said, D. Schooner, man. Thank you. So I'm going to go with Mark and then Dave. Then we're going to, if you can find a good video we can close with. D, I appreciate you.
Already queued up, baby.
Go ahead, Mark. Give it to us.
Yeah, D also reminded me of something. So when we tell you to comply, it's not an ego thing. Egos get people hurt. Okay, this is something that we want you to get home. You may get a ticket and you may not be happy. You may get yelled at or whatever. But everybody on this panel wants our listeners to learn. Go home. You may not agree, you may not like it, you may not like the way the officer said, maybe he had a little too much attitude, whatever the case is, okay? We want you to go home. So when we tell you to comply, it's not because we're ex-law enforcement and we just want you to listen. No, our bigger thing is we want you to go home safely. And I just want to, I hope you guys know where we're coming from, but I want to remove all doubt by saying it, okay? We want you to listen. We want you to go home. And then the next day, if you don't like the way you were treated, you can deal with it then. But you'll be home, you'll be safe, you take care of your family, and life goes on.
You're live. Exactly, Mark. Detective, you're up.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Just fine. Thank you.
Yeah, his partner, first thing first, his partner didn't get no shots off? Did you
Wasn't
know
clear. Wasn't clear.
Okay. All right. Second thing is this real fast, 'cause I know we got to go. Back in the early 2000s, the Supreme Court agreed with the police officers that if they ask you to step out of a damn car, step out. This is to our listeners. If you got a hard kid at home or a grandson or anything like that, and police officers ask you to step out of that damn car, tell them to get their ass out of that car. Live to tell the story.
Man, that's good.
Live to tell the story. My
stealing
youngest
that.
son in Pittsburgh right now, he gets yanked unreasonably, but he complies and they let him go. Okay? Now I know it's ugly and I know it's racist, but you know what? At least my baby boy is still living because he listens.
Hello.
Okay? And this is what I want all our listeners and their family and their relatives and their. The Supreme Court said, if they offer to ask you to step out of that car, step out. I love to get the driver out of the car because I felt safe, especially if I had 3 or 4 people in the car. I want to talk to the driver by himself. You know, I pull him out. Come here, man. I mean, holler being back here. Come back to my car. Let's talk. Then I feel more comfortable. I see him. I got him here, but I don't. Keeping him in that car, I'm like, wait a minute. There's 4 dudes up in this joint. I don't know who's who. I don't know who got a warrant. Who may have one. Maybe they're good kids. I don't know. But you know what? I'm not trying to go and get into some shit with them. So, my man, let me holler at you back here. You check out, you good. But get out of the damn car. Don't do like that dumbass football player did in Miami. Okay?
Tyreek Hill.
Because he got blessed. God blessed him. Because that was me. I'd drag this fucking ass by his nuts out of that fucking car. Okay? But I'm just saying, he got blessed. Okay? But don't do like him because he's a star.
Yeah.
Okay? We got to recognize your stardom. You know, you could be a rapper. Get on that goddamn car. I don't give them you 50 cents. I say step out of the car, step out. You know what I mean? And you live to tell the story.
I'm using that.
If we wrong, you have a day in court that say, yo, that officer was wrong, how he treated me, and you go get your lawyer, get your argument going. And you know what? And you win, you win. That's the bottom line. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you so much, Dave. Well done.
I just want to say one thing. This also goes to women.
Yeah.
Some women got an attitude because they're getting pulled over.
Yep.
Or because their boyfriend getting pulled over, and they'll escalate the conversation. Women, get out. I don't care if you got your prom dress on, your wedding dress, whatever, your divorce dress, whatever. Get out of the car, you know.
Be quiet. All right. Thank you, JT. Exactly right. All right, D-Schooner, it's 4:20. Let's pop this last happy video. We'll pray ourselves out of here in a little while. Go ahead, man.
Let's do that.
All right, man. Good job, guys. Thank you. Well done today.
This kid is every mother's dream. When he was shopping, the store owner asked him this.
If one of you gets this question right, all you will have 5 seconds to grab whatever you want.
Seriously?
Yes. How many inches are in a foot?
12.
Correct!
But after that 5 seconds, he shocked everyone with his decision. But what's more surprising is what the store owner did next.
4. Come on, grab! 3.
Grab.
2. Grab more! And 1.
Thank you.
Why did you grab the rice and the beans?
Because me and my family love rice and beans, and we just want us to have a good dinner tonight.
You want to have a good dinner tonight?
Yeah.
Give me $60, bro. Make sure you give this to your mom, all right? You promise you're going to give it to your mom?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
So that is phenomenal choice, Dean, because it shows a real piece of life and reality. And this kid is self-aware enough to know he's a future leader. He knows not to pick for him, but to pick for everybody. So it was a perfect ending to a great show, guys. I can't thank you guys enough. It's my first time leading the show. And as always, you guys never disappoint. Fantastic, fantastic job. It is 4:22. We are ahead of schedule. Anybody got anything before we go? We got about 3 minutes. Anybody got anything you want to say? You want to cuss me out, Mark? You want to talk about?
Yeah, I do have something. I do want to cuss you out, Ty.
Again?
You remember when? No, I'm teasing. I just also want to acknowledge Jim for having the courage to start his Cops for Kamala. He put a lot of effort into it. And although things didn't turn out the way he wished or the way we wished, that doesn't take away from all the effort and good work that he put in. I just want to acknowledge him as well. We do have some fine members on this team, and there's a lot of other things that we can get acknowledged for that we won't go into. But this is a great forum that we have, and I just want to acknowledge everybody on it.
Thank you, Mark.
Outstanding. Great job, Mark. And thank you so much, Jim. Mark could not be more correct. As always, Mark is always thinking of others, man. You did a fantastic job with that, Jim. Rich, you're going to close us out, baby. The last words. I'm going to pray us out of here.
Okay. I just want to say, Monday's Veterans Day. And I just want to say, I want to honor all my fellow veterans, men and women that have served, and all the forces. So my hat's off to you. Salute. Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day, big man.
You my man.
Thank you.
Happy Veterans Day, fellas. You guys
Well
are my
done.
man. You know that.
Thank you, Rich. Well done. I totally forgot that Monday was Veterans Day.
That's right.
JT's a vet too, right?
Yeah,
That's
JT's
right.
a vet. That's right.
Yeah.
Army.
Happy
USA,
Veterans Day to
Army.
you. Happy Veterans Day to you all.
And Jamal, you didn't serve, did you?
No, man. Just at the dinner table.
And he ate half of that.
And also,
What you saying? AC?
Don's coming back to pray us out if you don't mind.
He's gonna come pray us out. Okay, I had a prayer all set for us, but okay.
I just want to acknowledge Jay Cheech. He was in the Salvation Army. So,
yo, Army, baby. Service is service.
You know how hard those beds were?
No, I don't, Cheech. How hard were they? I couldn't resist, Jim. I had to ask him. Oh, great job.
Ty, I got one question.
What's that, brother?
How many of y'all, if you were doing whatever kind of job you got, and Donald Trump was your boss? I asked this on Facebook to law enforcement and retired law enforcement. Two people never gave me an answer back. I'll tell you their names.
What was the question?
The question was, if you were a police officer, a retired police officer, and Donald Trump was your commanding officer, how would you feel? Neither one of them answered me back.
I can answer it. You respect the position and not the person.
You got 34 goddamn felonies.
You respect the position. You respect the position and not the person.
I'll answer it.
You gotta separate it.
Answer, Dave. Give it up.
I will slap that motherfucker back into Black history. Fuck him.
You hear me talking, hillbilly boy?
Yeah.
34 felony, not two. 34.
Then I'll tell D, Scoon, come and get me, man. Come cuff me, man. I want to walk with pride with a brother locking me up. Come on.
Walk with pride.
I tell you, man. Hey, I see you back, Donald. We got the show completed by 4:25.
Okay.
We were able to get a good
video in
job, and we had a good time, man. These guys are awesome. They treated me pretty well. Except for Mark. Mark was sending me messages. You know how Mark is.
Who hosts? You host the time?
Yes, sir. Me and D.
All right.
Jamal, go ahead, bro. You got something, Jamal?
No. By
You
mistake.
sure? Okay, good.
No,
I was going
I
to pray
think-
us out if you were busy, but if you're here, go ahead and take care of us, Donald.
That's good. I think Jamel's messing with you on that one, Todd.
I love what he does,
Listen, let me first say this. Thank you, guys. I had a lot of work I had to get done with all that's been going on. And again, thank you guys for all the support that I've been receiving from you guys, and the text messages, just the prayers, not only from you guys here, but also those who are online that are listening to us. I didn't get a chance to hear any of the show because I was really taking care of budgets for our National Baptist Convention. But I thank you guys so much, and keep on praying. Do not be afraid of what just took place on Tuesday. Keep moving forward, because we're gonna be all right. We got through 4 years before, and believe me, there's been some people out there that's probably been worse than this one, but we're gonna be all right. And I'm sure of that we're gonna be all right. I'm still surprised, but we're gonna be all right. All right.
Yeah, me and JT running in 28. He gonna be my vice president.
I love it. Got my goal, baby.
That's a rough ticket. That's a rough ticket there.
We won't be short of motherfuckers, that's for sure.
Oh Lord.
There is no black
Sorry,
female
guys.
in that ticket, so they might still be okay. There is
You
no
gonna
black
be on the
female,
ticket
so
too,
they
Jerry. I got you down as my state. You gonna be Secretary of State, Jerry. Come on.
It all works.
Hey, Dave,
Thank
I'm
you,
going to
Donald.
let you know I'm not allowed in Walmart.
They racist anyway, JT. They racist anyway.
Walmart or the White House, same thing.
Larry said White House is okay.
Right, Dave?
White House
Right,
is
D?
okay. White House is good.
Todd, you had a handful here. They just talking.
Man, I love it, man.
I'm gonna-
No, they were very good.
I'm gonna pray us out, Ty, all right?
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Okay, all right. Let us pray. God, our Father, we thank you for being God and being God all by yourself. I thank you for every person that's on this panel and those who are on Facebook Live. We thank you. We're praying to God for these United States of America. We know we have a new elected president that will be taking office in January. We are praying for him. We're praying for his cabinet. We're praying for his staff. And we're praying for all that are working underneath him. And we're praying to God that you would have your way within our lives, that you would keep us from all hurt, harm, and danger. You will protect us from the evil one, because, God, we know you're able to do it. You've done it before, and, Lord God, we know you will do it again. Bless us now collectively and individually. Bless our homes and our families, our loved ones. Be with us now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, don't